Good morning, students. Welcome back to your English Literature tutorial class. I, Saimalini Sarkar, as you all know, will be taking your English Literature classes. I hope you all are fit and fine, students. Okay, so students, today we are going to study a poem. Let's see, what is it? The green grass growing all round. Now, I hope from the title itself, it is clear that when a tall tree grows, around it in the bottom, we find small green grasses are also growing, isn't it? So, this poem is about that. Let's see. About the poem. The green grass grew all round is an Alsatian poem. It's a folk song that was first noted in 1877 in Miss M.H. Masson's book, Nursery Rhymes and Country Songs. So, we cannot say this to be a poem. This is a song, this is a rhyme. Today, it is a popular classic children's song and a good example of a cumulative song. It is similar to the Irish folk song Rattling Bog, and versions exist in many other cultures and under many titles. So instead of saying this to be a poem, we can say this to be a song, to be a rhyme. Let's see. The green grass growing all round. First, I will read the poem of the first stanza. There was a tree stood on the ground, the prettiest tree you ever did see. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground, all the green grass growing all around, and all the green grass growing all around. So, let's see what is the first stanza telling us. There was a tree stood on the ground. That means a tree is standing on the ground. The prettiest tree you ever did see. It is one of the most prettiest tree that we have ever seen. The tree in the wood, the tree is in the forest, a small forest area. And the wood in the ground, and the forest is there in the ground. And the green grass growing all round, the small green grasses are growing around all the trees, and the green grass growing all around. Moving on to the next stanza. And on this tree there was a limb, and in this tree there was a limb. The prettiest limb you ever did see. It is one of the most prettiest limb that you have seen. The limb on the tree and the tree in the wood. The limb is on the tree and the tree is in the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. And the green grass growing all round and the green grass growing all around. Now let's see what is this stanza saying us. And on this tree there was a limb. In this tree there is a branch. Limb means branch. The prettiest limb you ever did see. It is one of the most prettiest limb, beautiful limb that you have ever seen ever. The limb on the tree, the branches on the tree, and the tree is in the wood. The branches on the tree and the tree, where is this tree situated? In the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. The tree is there in the wood, and where is the wood? The wood is there in the ground. And the green grass growing all around and the green grass growing all around. So again at the same line there is a repetition that the green grass is going all around the trees. Third stanza. And on this limb there was a bough. The prettiest bough you ever did see. The bough on the limb and the limb on the tree, the limb on the tree and the tree in the wood, the tree in the wood and the wood in the ground, and the green grass growing all round, and the green grass growing all round. Now, and on this limb there was a bough. Limb is the main branch, and in that main branch there are small boughs. Boughs means small branches. And those branches are one of the prettiest. The bough on the limb. Where is the bough located? It is there in the limb. And the limb is where? It is there in the tree. The limb on the tree and the tree in the wood. The limb is there on the tree and the tree is there on the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. The tree is there in the wood and the wood is situated in the ground. Again the same line is getting repeated here. And the green grass growing all around, and the green grass growing all around. Fourth stanza. And on this bough there was a nest. The prettiest nest you ever did see. The nest on the bough and the bough on the limb. The bough on the limb and the limb on the tree. The limb on the tree and the tree in the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. And the green grass growing all around, and the green grass growing all around. Now, the song is telling that in that bough, in that small branches, sub-branches we can say, there is a beautiful nest. It is one of the most prettiest nests that we have ever seen. Now, the nest is there in the bough, and the bough is there on the limb. The bough on the limb and the limb on the tree. The bough is there on the limb, and the limb is on tree. And the tree is there in the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. And the same line again it repeats. And the green grass growing all around, and the green grass growing all around. The last stanza. And in this nest there were some eggs. The prettiest eggs you ever did see. Eggs in the nest and the nest on the bough. The bough on the limb and the limb on the tree. The limb on the tree and the tree in the wood. The tree in the wood and the wood in the ground. And the green grass growing all round, and the green grass growing all around. Now, in the last stanza we can see that there is a nest we have read in the fourth stanza, and in that nest there are some eggs. And the eggs are one of the most prettiest eggs that we have ever seen in our life. Eggs are there in the nest, and the nest is on the bough. The bough is on the limb, and the limb is on the tree. And the tree is there in the wood, and the wood is there in the ground. The green grass growing all around, and the green grass growing all around. So what we have seen, first we have seen that there is a prettiest tree in the wood, and the wood is there in the ground, and it is one of the most prettiest tree, and the green grasses are growing all around. In the second stanza we have seen about the limb. We have read about the limb, and it is one of the most prettiest limb. In the third stanza we have read about the bow. In the fourth stanza we have read about the nest, and in the fifth stanza we have read about the eggs. So this is a folk rhyme. Folk rhyme means nobody knows who has written it, but from generation to generation, centuries after centuries, year after years, we are just getting it to know. It is coming from our grandparents to us, from us to our grandchild. Like this, it will just go on and on. Very beautiful poem, we can say. So what are the difficult words that we have came across in the poem? Prettiest, superlative degree of pretty meaning attractive. Limb, a large branch of a tree. Wood, an area of land smaller than a forest that is covered with growing trees. Bough, a main branch of a tree. Folk, traditional form of people. Thank you, students. In our online class, we are going to sing this song. We cannot say this to be a poem. This is a song. Please read the poem It is a beautiful poem, a beautiful composition we can say. Thank you, students.